Hey, welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is fantastic to see you again. My name's Grant. I'm an American English teacher, and on this channel you will find free lessons every week to help you become a better, more confident English speaker and learn about American culture. Today, I have a collaboration video with a friend of mine named Leo. We are going to talk about an extremely important topic: the difference between English in the classroom, so studying and practicing in a classroom setting, and English in real life, actually using English to talk with and communicate with people in the real world. There are some major differences between these two things, and I thought Leo would be the perfect person to discuss this with because he was born in Korea, he is a Korean, but he moved to the United States and lived there for 4 years while he went to university. In this conversation, we are going to discuss some major differences between classroom and real life English. And more importantly, we are going to give you guys some fantastic study strategies to help ease this transition so you will be ready to use English correctly and confidently in the real world. Unfortunately, I had some small camera problems during this interview, so my face will be a little bit blurry, but the audio is fine. And the content of this lesson will be really useful for you guys. So let's get into the interview. All right, well, first off, thanks a lot for taking time to be on the channel, Leo. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it.
So before we get into the topic, can you give people a little background on your own English experience and what you do on your YouTube channel?
Sure, Grant. So my name's Leo, and I run a YouTube channel called Learninground. I make videos for my Korean students or Korean listeners, but I mainly focus on helping them communicating with native speakers, not so much on grammar. Yeah, because I'm not a grammar expert.
I'm not either. Yeah. So, what were some big differences you noticed between using English in the U.S. in real life and the way that we use English in classrooms?
Oh, first of all, especially when I went to the States, the first thing I realized was people would speak really fast. Like maybe it was a New York thing, but then they would speak really fast. So sometimes I had hard time understanding them because they were speaking so fast.
Absolutely, man. Pretty much everyone says that speed is a big problem. So, what do you think are some ways that students could prepare for that and get adjusted to faster spoken English?
Hmm. Um, Actually, a lot of students tell me that the videos that I prepare are too fast. Then I say, try to, there's a setting on YouTube where you can say like 0.75 or like zero point 0.5 times. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
and actually you can also like make it faster too. So another way of preparing for that fast speech would be listening to it fast.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think adjusting the speed of YouTube videos so that they're as fast as they can be with you still understanding them. So it can really challenge and push your listening to the next level. I really like that tip.
Oh yeah.
I'll show you guys how to do that in a quick cutscene. Here's what Leo and I are talking about. If you go to Settings and Playback Speed, you can alter the speed of the video you're watching. So here's normal speed. Hello everyone, it is fantastic to see you again. But if that's too easy and you want to challenge yourself, you can increase the speed. My name's Grant. I am an English teacher from America, and on this channel... Or if you need to slow things down, you can also decrease the speed. You can find tons of free lessons to help you become a better, more confident. Right. So, what else did you notice was different about using English in the real world, Leo?
Um, I'll I'll tell you the difference between British school and American school, and
Yeah, sure.
yeah, a big difference is how they contract everything. So like I'm gonna be right there. Like I don't think you would hear that in a British school.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, so those kind of stuff. I'm gonna, you're gonna, yeah, those stuff. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So what he's talking about is taking one or more word or taking two or more words and kind of combining them into a single word like wanna, gonna, or what you said, I'm a, which is usually like I'm going to. So that's something that's kind of unique to American English, but it's extremely common. So yeah, that's a great tip. Do you think is slang a big problem?
Slang's a huge problem, especially if you're if you're like in like a college setting, like like yeah, that's a huge problem. And also you need to learn phrasal verbs like and also collocations because that is basically what they use for spoken English.
Yeah. Something I always recommend to my students for listening practice is to listen to unscripted videos, like
Mm,
live interviews or just recordings of actual conversations, because that's the most accurate representation of how native speakers actually talk. And you can catch and you can learn a lot of those slang and phrasal verbs and idioms and things like that.
true, very true.
Something else I thought of is just how noisy it is sometimes, especially in public, if you're in a restaurant or if you're on public transit. You know, there's a lot of background noise in the real world, and that can throw students off as well.
Yeah, that's totally true. And what I've heard from my students, what some of them do is they intentionally put on the TV, maybe not so much, like not so like volume wouldn't be too high, but then just enough so that it's like a real life setting.
I really like that tip. Yeah, because you know, in the classroom, usually it's completely silent other than the teacher talking, and it can be difficult adjusting your listening when there's tons of noise going on around you. So yeah, maybe you guys watching at home, you can try that sometime. Listen to some English recordings while the TV's going in the background. Yeah, that's a great tip, Leo. All right. And anything else that you think is a major difference?
Oh, maybe it's not so important, but then it could be really confusing for some people. Um, what I'm trying to say is you sometimes hear native speakers say stuff like "you was" or like "I be," and then you're like, "Huh? Am I wrong?"
Yeah, that is very true. Native speakers make a lot of small grammar mistakes, especially with the be verb. I don't really know why that is, but yeah, people say like I be trying or I be working instead of I am working. So the good
Well,
news with that is most of the time it doesn't change the actual meaning of what you're saying, but
mm,
you're right, that can be kind of confusing.
just a quick question, Grant.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, do you think native speakers say those stuff because they really don't know the grammar or they're trying to sound cool?
I think they know the grammar for sure. And I think in casual English, there are certain phrases and certain verbs we use that aren't technically perfect grammar, but are just what people use. It's kind of honestly similar to slang. So,
Yeah.
no, I don't think they're just genuinely that stupid when it comes to grammar. I think I think it's just kind of an American cultural thing.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be explain a lot to my students too.
Okay, great. Yeah. All right, and speaking of Leo's students, he and I actually did another video on his channel where we talk about some of the most common mistakes that Korean English students make. So if you're a Korean student, you should definitely check that out and watch some of Leo's other videos because he has some really useful stuff on his channel. All right, before we wrap this call up, Leo, is there any final words of advice you have?
English is just a tool to get your message across. I've always believed in that, so don't be afraid to make mistakes, you know, and also try to have fun while you're at it.
I really like that. Yeah. I think being able to communicate your idea is infinitely more important than perfect grammar and understanding verb rules. So, completely agree here, man. All right. Well, thank you so much for the call, Leo. This has been good. Hopefully, we can do another collab sometime.
Would
Thanks
love
again for
to.
your awesome, man. All right. Well, you take it easy. And you guys watching at home, thank you for watching all the way to the end. You should check out Leo's channel if you haven't. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye
Bye.
bye.